Wake TF up. Welcome to the Sovereign Signal, the channel of Sovereign Fire. Section 3. Generational Conditioning. The puppet theater does not survive because it is convincing. It survives because generations are conditioned to accept betrayal as normal. Parents are told, vote for change. Children inherit the same theater. Elders defend the ritual as progress. Conditioning is not accidental. It is engineered. Schools, media, culture, and law are the machinery. Their language is inverted. Their rituals are weaponized. Their promises are poison. Democracy is sold as participation, but in truth, it is managed consent. The cycle of hope and betrayal repeats every election, each generation chained deeper than the last. Parents, the custodians of false hope. Parents are told their duty is to vote, that ballots equal agency, that democracy is secured through participation. They are told change is possible if they choose the right wing, the right leader, the right slogan. Yet every cycle ends the same. Promises diluted, policies reversed, sovereignty surrendered. Parents sacrifice wages, time, and dignity, believing they are shaping the future. In truth, they are renewing consent for the same machinery. Venom. Parents are weaponized against their own children. They pass down obedience as tradition, hope as inheritance, betrayal as culture. They believe they are protecting, but they are transmitting chains. Children, the inheritors of chains. Children inherit rituals disguised as freedom. School mock elections teach them ballots equal power. Civics curricula glorify parliaments, never mapping donors or lobbyists. Media frames politics as drama, training children to cheer wings instead of dissect bodies. Culture celebrates leaders as heroes, teaching children to admire puppets instead of question scripts. Venom. Children are groomed into obedience. They are taught to mistake ritual for sovereignty, slogans for truth, participation for freedom. They inherit debt, surveillance, and obedience. They are told it is opportunity, safety, and liberty. The truth is venom. It is chains disguised as gifts. Elders, the defenders of illusion. Elders are told democracy is progress, that their sacrifices secured freedom, that their votes shaped destiny. They defend rituals as heritage, traditions as legacy, illusions as truth. They die believing they were free, while their children inherit chains and their grandchildren inherit surveillance. Venom. Elders are weaponized as guardians of illusion. Their memories are curated, their sacrifices romanticized, their obedience sanctified. They defend betrayal as progress, ensuring the cycle continues. Schools, media, and culture, the machinery of conditioning. Schools teach obedience through civics, exams, and rituals. They train children to memorize constitutions, not map power. They glorify parliaments, not donors. They sanctify ballots, not contracts. Media frames obedience as patriotism, dissent as extremism. It teaches citizens to cheer debates, not investigate donors. It sells scandals, not structures. Culture celebrates obedience through ceremonies, holidays, and traditions. It teaches families to celebrate elections, not question contracts. Venom. Every ritual is betrayal. Parents are told it is tradition. Children are told it is heritage. Elders are told it is legacy. The truth is venom. Obedience ritualized as freedom. The language of law, inverted meanings. The conditioning is reinforced through language. Politicians speak in words familiar to citizens, but those words are defined in the dictionary of law, not the dictionary of life. Freedom, rights, liberty, democracy. Words that sound familiar, but in law they carry inverted meanings. Freedom in law is not liberty. It is permission granted under conditions. Rights in law are not inherent. They are privileges revocable by statute. Liberty in law is not autonomy. It is compliance within boundaries. Democracy in law is not sovereignty. It is managed consent through ritual. Venom. Language itself is weaponized. Parents hear promises of freedom, Children learn definitions of rights. Elders defend liberty. Yet the meanings are inverted. The people believe they are free, but in law they are bound. The people believe they have rights, but in law they have privileges. The people believe they live in democracy, but in law they live in managed consent. The cycle of hope and betrayal. Every election repeats the cycle. Hope is ritualized, betrayal is scheduled. Parents hope for change, children inherit disappointment, elders defend illusions. The wings flap, the body remains, the theater continues. Generations are conditioned to accept betrayal as normal, disappointment as tradition, obedience as identity. Hope is sold every 4 years. Betrayal is delivered every 4 years. Consent is renewed every 4 years. Venom, the cycle is betrayal. Parents sacrifice. Children inherit chains. Elders die believing they were free. The truth is venom. Democracy is theater. Politics is puppetry. Sovereignty is illusion. Verdict generational conditioning is the spine of the puppet theater. Parents are weaponized as custodians of false hope. Children are groomed into obedience. Elders are sanctified as defenders of illusion. Schools, media, and culture ritualize obedience. Language itself is inverted, weaponized through the dictionary of law. Democracy is sold as participation, but in truth it is managed consent. The cycle of hope and betrayal repeats every election, each generation inheriting the same lie. Wake TF up. Section 4. The contracts of obedience. The system does not ask for your permission. It tricks you into giving it. Every ballot, every oath, every ritual of participation is a contract of obedience. You never see the fine print, but you live under its terms. The theater survives because these contracts are renewed silently, generation after generation. Clause 1. Ballots as binding instruments. Ballots are presented as freedom, but they are instruments of compliance. When you mark a box, you are not choosing sovereignty. You are signing a clause that says, I accept the system, even if it betrays me. The ballot is not a choice. It is a receipt. The count is not transparency. It is certification of obedience. The announcement is not change. It is renewal of the contract. Spite. They laugh because you believe you are free when you are only ratifying their control. Clause 2. Silence equals consent. The most venomous clause is silence. By showing up, by participating, by obeying the ritual, you are bound. You never signed a contract, but the system treats your silence as agreement. You accept the theater by attending. You accept the puppets by voting. You accept the body by defending the ritual. Spite. They know you never read the contract, but they enforce it anyway. Clause 3. Participation as legitimization. Participation is not agency. It is legitimization. Every ballot cast is proof the system works, even when the outcome is scripted. Every cheer for a leader is proof the theater is convincing, even when the body remains unchanged. Hope is the bait. Betrayal is the hook. Consent is the catch. Spite. They don't care who wins. They care that you play. Clause 4. Generational transmission. The contracts are hereditary. Parents transmit obedience as duty. Children inherit obedience as tradition. Elders sanctify obedience as legacy. Each generation renews the contract, believing it is heritage. Parents believe voting secures the future. Children inherit debt and surveillance. Elders defend rituals as progress. Spite. The contract is not broken by death. It is passed down like a curse. Clause 5. Language as legal trap. The contract is reinforced through language. Politicians speak in words familiar to citizens, but defined in the dictionary of law. Freedom, rights, liberty, democracy, all inverted to sustain obedience. Freedom, permission under statute. Rights, privileges revocable at will. Liberty, compliance within boundaries. Democracy, managed consent through ritual. Spite, They weaponize words so you defend your own chains. Clause 6. The penalty of refusal. Refusal is punished. Abstain from voting, and you are told you lost your voice. Reject the ritual, and you are branded apathetic, extremist, or irresponsible. The contract binds even those who resist, because the system frames refusal as weakness. Abstention is framed as surrender. Resistance is framed as chaos. Spite. They punish you whether you sign or not, because the contract is enforced by culture itself. Verdict. The contracts of obedience are silent but binding. Ballots are compliance, silence is consent, participation is legitimization, language is inversion, refusal is punished. Parents are told voting secures the future. Children inherit chains. Elders defend illusions. The truth is venom. Democracy is not freedom. It is a contract of obedience disguised as heritage. Wait TF up. Section 5. The venom of truth and the sovereign counterforce. The curtain falls. Democracy exposed as theater for generations. Sovereign living men, women, and children have been told that democracy is freedom, that politics is representation, that sovereignty is alive. These are illusions crafted to sustain obedience. Democracy is not freedom. It is theater. Politics is not representation. It is puppetry. Sovereignty is not alive. It is illusion. The wings flap, the puppets perform, the audience applauds. The body remains unseen, feeding on obedience, sustained by betrayal. Every ballot is a contract of obedience. Every leader is a puppet. Every promise is betrayal. The venom of truth is this. Democracy is theater. Politics is puppetry. Sovereignty is stolen. The people are not sovereign. They are spectators. They clap at crescendos. They cheer at slogans. They defend rituals. Meanwhile, the machinery continues its flight path, untouched, unchallenged, unbroken. 2. The evil intent behind the veil. The veil disguises evil intent. Behind the slogans and ceremonies lies machinery built not to serve but to harvest. Finance drains wages, lobbying scripts laws, media frames perception, intelligence enforces obedience, dynasties own permanence, supranational cages bind nations. Wars are sold as defense, but they are conquest. Debt is sold as opportunity, but it is enslavement. Surveillance is sold as safety, but it is submission. Treaties are sold as progress, but they are surrender. The intent is not representation, it is control. The machinery is not built to protect, it is built to exploit. The veil is not protection, it is deception. Parents are told their sacrifices secure freedom. Children are told their obedience builds progress. Elders are told their traditions preserve sovereignty. Each generation is lied to, each generation betrayed, each generation chained. 3. Generational betrayal. The contracts of obedience are hereditary. Parents transmit obedience as duty. Children inherit obedience as tradition. Elders sanctify obedience as legacy. Each generation renews the contract, believing it is heritage. Parents believe voting secures the future. Children inherit debt and surveillance. Elders defend rituals as progress. Generational transmission is betrayal. Parents sacrifice. Children inherit chains. Elders die believing they were free. The truth is venom. Democracy is theater. Politics is puppetry. Sovereignty is illusion. 4. The detriment of carrying on if the theater continues. Sovereign living men, women, and children are destroyed. Carrying on means deeper debt, harsher surveillance, endless wars, permanent obedience. Carrying on means children inherit chains, parents transmit obedience, elders defend illusions. Carrying on means sovereignty is lost forever. Economies hollowed into debt machines. Communities fractured into obedience rituals. Generations conditioned into submission. Nations bound into supranational cages. Carrying on is annihilation. It is the slow death of sovereignty, the permanent colonization of the people. It is not survival. It is surrender. It is not progress. It is decay. It is not freedom. It is slavery disguised as heritage. V. Awakening requires refusal. Awakening requires refusing distraction. Stop watching wings. Stop cheering puppets. Stop defending theater. Focus on the body. Name it. Expose it. Refuse it. Awakening is not reform. It is rupture. Awakening is not hope. It is fire. Awakening is not theater. It is truth. Awakening means refusing to renew contracts, refusing to sanctify betrayal, refusing to defend illusions. It means tearing the veil, naming the machinery, exposing the dynasties, rejecting the treaties, dismantling the cages. Awakening is not polite. It is venom. It is refusal. It is rupture. V. The sovereign signal is counterforce. A counterforce is not another wing, not another puppet, not another theater. The counterforce is the sovereign signal, collaboration, exposure, refusal. It is sovereign living men, women, and children building parallel capacity, food networks, care cooperatives, independent media, legal defense. It is exposure of dynasties, donors, contracts, treaties. It is refusal to sanctify betrayal, refusal to renew contracts, refusal to defend illusions. The sovereign signal is rupture. It is fire. It is truth. It is the counterforce that burns away illusion, restores sovereignty, and awakens the people. It is not hope. It is action. It is not reform. It is resistance. It is not theater. It is reality. 7. The warning shot. This is the warning shot to sovereign living men, women, and children. Politics is theater. Democracy is illusion. Sovereignty is stolen. The veil is torn. The evil intent exposed. The detriment revealed. Carrying on means annihilation. Awakening means rupture. The sovereign signal is the counterforce. The people must refuse. Refuse the wings. Refuse the puppets. Refuse the theater. Refuse the contracts. Refuse the lies. Refuse the betrayal. The people must awaken. Awaken to truth. Awaken to venom. Awaken to sovereignty. Awaken to rupture. Wake TF up. This is the sovereign signal. Support the mission. Like, share, subscribe. Wake TF up.